Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the video review of Causality Crossfire CA-12 Last Chance from FansProject. I picked this figure up at BigBadToyStore.com, and this is the fourth figure in the Not Stunticon set. At the time of this review, we are still waiting for a release date and full color pictures of not Menasor, not Motormaster. So the box is the same or similar design to all of the other Causality Crossfire figures from the Not Stunticon set, so let's open him up and take a look. Like all of the other figures in the Causality Crossfire set, the only accessories that this figure comes with is his gun, which will split into two different pieces for storage in vehicle mode. He also comes with this little card here, as you can see. It has a front and back with the very weirdly translated English, and his directions. Last Chance himself is very cool looking. I really like the look of this guy. I believe him and Not Dragstrip are my favorite of the four that have been released so far. He is an overly cool looking figure, as I said, and I really like the maroon with the yellow stripe going down the entirety of the figure. It's a very nice touch, and I believe that was part of the G1 aesthetic as well. Posability-wise, his head is on a ball joint, though it is somewhat limited. Shoulders are on a ball and swivel joint. There is a swivel joint right underneath the shoulder and a double hinge joint for the elbow, and his fists do rotate. Hips are on a joint, though it does appear that the hood of the vehicle is pegged into just above the crotch. Ball joint at the hip, swivel joint right underneath that, hinge joint in the knee, and the feet, or the foot pads that are part of the vehicle mode, are on a ball joint, though somewhat limited, though not so much. It's a ball and hinge joint, as you can see here. Overall, you can get some really nice poses with this guy, and I think you can end up with him looking really gnarly and awesome. Like all of his brethren, Last Chance's transformation is a little bit on the difficult side. Start off by taking the hood chest and flipping it up over his head. The next bit of the transformation is pretty darn tricky, and it does take a couple of goes before you're going to get it. And as you can see, you really do have to do some real accordion work with the arm here. Though, I want to show it to you pretty slowly. So to start off, take the arm and fold it up, and then kind of flip it out, or flip this wheel part and the panel part out as far as it'll go. Then turn the arm such that the elbow, the double-hinged elbow, is pointing toward the outside of the car. Then take the fist and make sure that the fist is pointing down, so the thumb on the inside of the fist is pointing toward the bottom of the vehicle. What we're going to do next is first take the fist and pop the wrist joint, and then fold that into the forearm. And then as we fold this section in, you have to take the double hinge, pull it up, and push it down. And I like to bend it just a little bit forward. And what's going to happen is the inside where we plugged in the wrist is actually going to peg into that little peg right behind the wheel. And as we just kind of fiddle with it and get it pegged in, then we can slide it underneath these screws and into place to form the front part of the car. And then both sections will push back and peg in. Sometimes it doesn't peg in, as you can see right here, but just a little bit of fiddling with the panels will get it to peg in nicely. Next up for the legs is something I forgot to show you, and I forgot to deploy the heels. These plastic bits, these gray plastic pieces, are in fact Last Chance's heels, and they do add quite a bit of stability to the figure, and I'm sorry, I completely missed it when I was first playing with the figure. So, for the legs, what we're going to do is they're obviously going to fold up into the body. So, first thing we're going to do is kind of wiggle the feet up against the shins of the robot mode, and then reach behind to the back of the figure and flip out the rear of the legs, and just let them flip up and peg them into place, and then wiggle those bits onto them. And then combine the two pieces, or the two legs, and then they will fold up to form the back of the vehicle mode. And just getting this lined up is a little bit tricky, but you will eventually get it after just playing around for a little bit. Once you've got the rear leg sections folded up, last thing we got to do is fold down the spoiler. The last bit of the transformation is to take the spoiler, which was originally pushed up, and actually push it down and into the rear of the vehicle mode, and it will snap into place. And then we can split the gun apart and peg it into the bottom of the vehicle mode. There are tabs, sorry, had it upside down. There are tabs right here where my fingernail is, and that will peg in nice. These guys will peg in nicely right there and right there, like that. And here we have Last Chance's vehicle mode. I'll be honest, I've been trying to figure out what this alt mode is, and I think it is a redesign of the Ferrari Enzo concept from a few years ago, but I haven't been able to find any real concrete evidence of that. I think this alt mode looks pretty good. This guy and Downforce are by far my favorites. So yeah, the alt mode here is really wicked. Though these figures, for 60 bucks, they feel so small. By small, I mean their alt modes feel very small. Their robot modes are a little on the smaller side, but nothing smaller than a deluxe class from like FOC. So for comparison, I've got here a Transformers Cybertron basic class figure and an Armada Minicon. I mean, look at that. Yes, the Armada Minicon is significantly smaller, but not by much. Like I said, these figures, they feel so tiny. Last Chance is a pretty fun figure, and I do like this guy a lot. And like I said, I like this one a lot more than the first two, the Not Breakdown and the Not Wild Rider. Those two guys just felt a little bit too much, if that makes any sense. They were too fiddly, they were too over-engineered, and looking at them and seeing pictures of how they're going to combine with Intimidator, I think that's his name, or not Motormaster, they just don't look anything special. I mean, they're just going to stay in car mode, and that's about it. Nothing else is going to happen to them. Well, at least that I know of yet. So, guys, I would recommend picking this one up. I really do like him. The only part I don't like is getting his head out after transforming him into car mode. That is a little bit of a sticky wicket. But otherwise, his transformation is a lot more pleasant than any of the other figures, and he just looks cool. I really like the color scheme, and I just like the overall look of the figure. So guys, this has been Baltmatrix for FansProject Causality CA-12 Last Chance. I recommend picking him up. I think he's a lot of fun, and I will catch you guys next time.